Oh yeah. Yeah. High tech with a hint of old school to it. If you actually check the prices, it's cool. Isn't the intro supposed to have some sound?
Can you guys hear me now? All right. Well, apologies about that. Welcome everybody to another FiatLeak live stream. It is December 5th, 2023, and we are accompanied today with Octo, Price
Hi.
Givens, and Erickson Montero. Dr. Erickson. How are you guys doing today?
Quite good.
Wonderful. 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 Nice, nice, nice. So, we have a few things to go over today, but before we get into the thick of it, of the news of the day and whatnot, let's talk about the FiatLeak Fantasy Day Trader. So it looks like yesterday, Price, uh, everyone's picks got locked in. Is that correct? And tell me, how many people approximately participated in this fantasy day trade? Impressive. And for people that don't know, which is doubtful, can you tell us what the FiatLeak Day Trade fantasy
Is
day
all
trade
about.
competition is? Hey, Price, Price. Apparently, no one can hear you. Um,
Oh,
why is that? Yeah, so I have. Hold on here. Yeah, on my end,
okay.
I have everybody unmuted.
Can you guys hear everybody else? Because I can hear him, but
Yeah, I have a signal for
strange.
everyone, but Price is collab camp too, and I'm not seeing anything pop up for him. Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I have a signal for you. Um, interesting,
I can hear him, but
interesting.
he's collab camp
All
too.
right, they're saying that we're good now. So guys, can you confirm that you hear us?
I have a signal for you.
And then somebody's monitors are on, which we're getting echo. So if you can mute your monitors, guys.
Yeah, it was just briefly to see if it worked. It's off now.
Okay, no worries. So we're gonna do this again. Okay, we're gonna start over from the top. Apologies for the technical difficulties today, guys. It's Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. We're running another FiatLeak stream here, and we're joined by Octo, Price Givens, and Dr. Erickson. And today we're going to just go over the market, the latest news of the day, everything in between. And before we get started here, I asked Price to just give us a little rundown of the current competition, which is the FiatLeak Fantasy Day Trader, how it works and what it's all about. And take it away, Price. What is the price for that? Prize for that price. Who's still... What? I have a full signal for you here. Huh.
True.
I'm taking a look here. What is the price for that? Full signal for you here. All right.
Right.
I'm taking a look here.
So we can only hear Danny.
Okay. Let me fix that real quick then.
Yeah.
Let me fix that real quick. All right.
Right. Huh.
I'm fixing it now, guys. The default settings for collab cams is monitor only, not monitor and output. So I have to redo that every time. So
Right. I did hear myself on the stream
Yeah,
coming out of
I
YouTube.
think, yeah,
1 second,
your audio
fellas.
is working okay.
Okay.
Okie doke.
So I think if I do it for one, it does it for all. So can you guys hear everybody right now?
Let's do a sound check.
Testing. Let's sing a song.
Here, there's one more. Okay. Let's see. All right, guys, tell us in the chat. Do you hear everybody? Erickson, say
Can
something.
you hear me?
Testing
Can you hear
one.
me? Sound
Testing
check. 1,
two.
2.
Okay.
Testing 3.
What about Price? Can we hear Price?
Can you hear Price?
Let's wait for a response. I can hear Danny, Octo, and Erickson.
Yeah.
Chantelli, can you hear Price?
Can you hear me?
Price, just
I
say
can.
something so I can confirm which channel you are.
I don't know sign
Okay.
language, Seattle John.
You should totally be working now, Price.
Am I totally working now?
All right. Do you guys hear Price? Yes or no?
Hello.
Yeah.
Price, I
Okay.
think you're okay now.
All right, we're good.
His voice is coming out of the stream.
You know,
Yeah.
if you guys want me to explain the fantasy day trader for the third time, here we go.
Yes.
If you think that you're a better trader than everyone else, go over to tangle.com/FiatLeak and prove it by
playing with a
commenting
million.
on the day trader post with your fantasy portfolio, and we'll see if you're as good as you think you are. There you go.
Okay,
Take
so
3.
so 10 million Millix for the best performing portfolio. The winner will be announced on Friday. Now, you had mentioned, Price, that also we're keeping track of every week. And by the way, this is week 3 of Fantasy Day Trader. And by what week will we pay out the grand prize for the best performing portfolio or the user?
Well, the most important consideration in determining when the season ends, it's based on whenever Danny is not winning. And at the moment, after week 2, Danny is leading, and that's not just not going to pass. So we haven't decided the season end date yet, but that now you know what we're looking for.
Okay. All right.
We're looking for some bad picks by Danny. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we?
Which are inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, it's inevitable for anybody, guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know, my secret weapon is the market summary on FiatLeak on the top left corner right there, and it was down this week at the time that I needed to put in my picks, so I had to resort to a competitor, not really, but CoinMarketCap to make my decision. Let's see how well I do this week, but should we just make a decision now that one season is, let's say, 12 weeks? That's like 3 months. Is that good?
Yes. And actually, that might be a little long.
I agree.
That
Yeah, I
presumes
agree.
that all of us are going to live for 12 more weeks.
Yeah, that's risky. All right, so
Yeah.
what should we do? Cut it like 8?
Yeah, let's do an eight week season. We're in week 3 right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
that
5
would
more
get
to
us
go.
that would get us to almost the end of January or something like that.
Yeah, there would be
It's not bad.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what would be the grand prize?
100.
100 million Millix?
100 million Millix.
Ooh.
9 figures.
Wow, you're gonna give me asthma. All right, so before we dive in further, everyone who's here, go ahead and give us your Tangled username in the YouTube chat so we can enter you in a wheel spin at the end of this very successful, flawless stream that we're having right now. And you might win some Millix for, your patience. So go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and get into the topics here. I'm going to go ahead and read off just 4 or 5 different news articles that I happen to stumble upon today. Maybe it'll draw some conversations, but I'm going to read them off, and then I'll pass it over to you, Octo, to whatever you want to go over here. So let's see here. One of the first ones I have here is, and a lot of these articles, they have greater implications than what the article is talking about in itself. Let me go ahead and move this here so I can read it better. So, Brazil's largest bank, Itaú Unibanco, launches Bitcoin trading. That's the first one. The next one, Wall Street forecasts Bitcoin topping 100,000 in 2024. Is BTC set to outshine traditional stocks? I will sidebar this and say that Price mentioned that, was it Plan B that said Bitcoin is projected based on his data to go to 500,000. We'll go over that.
Yeah. That's his stock to flow model,
right?
Which got which went viral a few years ago, and the last halving cycle, it didn't hit his target. But he's sticking to the plan, and he says 500,000 in 2024.
Yeah. Do you know approximately how off he was by this his chart?
Yeah, he was off by 300%.
Wow,
300.
He was projecting the stock to flow model projected a $250,000 price on the last halving, and we topped at 70,000.
Yeah, that model needs to be adjusted then.
Model was not adjusted. He's sticking to it.
And you were going to say something, Octo?
Yeah. It was called Plan A back then, and then he shifted to Plan B, and then when he didn't hit the target, there was a lot of Plan C talk on social media, but it was off by over 300%, but he stuck to it, and it was the talk of the year, really.
Oh yeah.
His prediction. As far as the 100K that we saw on the news today by Wall Street forecasters, I think we have a news with those kind of prices at least 4 times a day coming out from somebody, all the way through the bear market and including today and the last few months.
Right.
For one reason or another, there's always somebody calling it.
It's an easy headline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great made. Yes, sir.
But I think I don't know if we're going to get into the ETF, but I think that the ETF, just the mechanics of how ETFs work, could put Bitcoin well over 100,000.
Well, one of the points here is ETFs approval, the halving, and market domination may boost the BTC price. I don't think it's a may, it's a definite. It's just the matter of how much, right?
Yeah. Market dominance for Bitcoin, it has been decreasingly, going down for this whole year until recently when it started regain it. It was below 50% for most part of this year. Now in literally the last few weeks, it's back on to being over 51%. And it has shown by the volumes of trading being done against Bitcoin, meaning that a lot of coins have been swapped over to Bitcoin to catch the ride up.
Yeah. Would you guys say that the bull cycle has already started, or not quite yet?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely, right?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. So Bitcoin's up 60% in what, a month and a half.
yeah. And
60%. Wow.
the total market cap of the total crypto market cap, I mean, not many months ago, we were below the 1 trillion cap. Now it's over 1.6, the general crypto market cap. So that is a large increase. The volumes have been consistent. I mean, only today I'm looking at 134 billion of trades going through.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
It's not bad, yes. During even last summer, we were looking at 30, 40 billion per day, which is a lot less.
Yeah, I'd say so. Where did we peak at the market cap, the overall crypto market cap last bull cycle? Was it topped over 2 trillion? Am I mistaken about that?
It was 2.8, it was almost 3.
Wow, that's incredible. Wow. So yeah, so we're definitely on course to at least meet those numbers, if I were to say so myself. Um, Now, they pose a question in Wall Street Forecast saying, "Will Bitcoin be a better investment than stocks?" That's a very broad question there because
Yeah,
but and I will say that a lot of you know more traditional investors, just like the last bull run, but more than ever, are leaning in more into cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, Ethereum, like the top threes, let's say. And you see companies like Fidelity and other institutions like this, like the largest bank in Brazil, adopting crypto. So it really says something to where we are in the industry at large here, and it's very exciting to see. Is there anything you want to add to this, guys, Erickson?
Regarding this last headline about Bitcoin outshining traditional stocks, it depends. If we are in a bull market, of course it will, but in a bear market, yeah, you will get burned. So yeah, it depends on where we are. So right now, I think
yes,
it has good probabilities to outshine any traditional stocks.
I
Regarding the yes, Bryce.
Well, I think that you can remove any uncertainty from that question if you just change one word on it. If you change
We
that question to has Bitcoin outshined traditional stocks, the answer is yes. And it has been yes for something
correct.
like 11 of the past 12 years.
Yeah. So you just have to know how to handle your investments on Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
yeah,
uh,
and adjust the style of trading as well, because
yeah,
being a profitable asset to trade, it can be whether it's in a bull market or not, especially for stock traders which love to play on shorting something when there's blood on the
I'm
streets, as
not
they say.
I'm I'm not a good fan of shorting, but yeah, for
Me neither,
sure.
but it does
Uh,
work, and it's one way to make
yeah.
money during a bear market, which it has been a fairly long season,
Hmm.
and your style of trading can adjust. And obviously, the Bitcoin price has been very volatile, so you have high percentage swings in price, which you don't normally see on large stocks. So it can make you a lot of profit if you're willing to adjust the style of trading to a more volatile type of asset
Yeah.
instead than a classic one.
I
True.
want to get your opinion, Octo, about um, the the ETF. Let's say it gets approved. then there will be a bunch of new users investing in Bitcoin using
Yes,
those ETFs. But
definitely. Yeah,
also, it will open um, path for, let's say, option trading using
yeah.
that ETF as a underline. Do you think that's how that is going to to affect Bitcoin price? Because I think it
I
will.
think I think that simply instead of having retail traders starting to play with it, it's going to involve more of institutional traders, which could just mean an increase in volumes in 50%, and that would drive the price up very quickly.
I agree.
I don't really
But
see any different outcome.
Yeah, the ETF as an asset class. So there in the U.S. there's a class of people called certified financial advisors, and it's where I don't know maybe the top 20% wealthy people they have a certified financial advisor to do their insurance and their portfolios and all their money. Bitcoin as an asset has been off limits from a regulatory perspective to that entire class of money, and ETFs bring
Yeah.
it in, and those certified financial advisors control more than $1 trillion of wealth. I don't know the number. I think it might be much more than $1 trillion of wealth.
I think
So
so. Yeah,
you're getting exposure to
Wow.
to new money.
that's right.
And they're gonna buy up, and you know what happens when that happens.
They're gonna play that. There might still be some, market manipulation due to
Sure.
the size of the amount of money that they can play with.
yeah,
But that's been going on since the stock market was invented. So depending on what strategy they're playing with, you're gonna see large swings in price.
Well, let me ask
I
And
you.
think that
Speaking
I
of,
think that the last 45 days so Bitcoin's been in a really tight channel up until about a week ago. And I think that it was a guy. Call it a guy. It could have been an institution, but I think it was a composite operator that we don't know their identity yet. They're accumulating to a full position. Once they get to a full position, they'll reveal their identity and try to talk up the asset.
mm,
But I think that I wouldn't be surprised if this is an authorized participant of an ETF that's accumulating the underlying asset to launch the ETF.
mm,
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Like some institution have been playing with Bitcoin before ETFs are part of the let's say the stock market and their uh, way of trading. There's always some large whale that will invest large numbers. I haven't specifically checked if your theory could uh, be true, like if it's coming from one or a few particular large buyers, but there has been a very large amount of Bitcoin wallets that have been dormant for years that they have started moving this year. So it could have been someone that started moving assets that have been sleeping for some 4 or 5 years, even more than that.
Yeah.
And this
how
would
many?
it was thousands making it into the hundreds of billions. Some wallet with over 2 billion worth of Bitcoin at today's prices or a few weeks ago's prices have started moving assets here and there. And yeah, it, it's been happening a lot this year. Uh, and that made up for quite a large percentage of the total market cap of Bitcoin.
Do we have an idea like how much Bitcoin is in exchanges versus held by miners or
In,
cold wallets?
Yeah.
yes, I actually saw a graph exactly of that last week, and
Really?
it was something like between 50 and 60% of holders, which means wallets, not exchanges, which weren't being traded. And then the graph was also saying the age of a lot of these holdings, but a large percentage of it, it's just sitting there, which means it's not in the exchanges. That's what I was
Right.
trying to say.
Yeah, it's not circulating in the
Yeah,
exchanges.
not
That's a
actively
good thing,
trading.
and it could be a bad thing too. It could be an imminent, uh, what they would have to coordinate to
Yeah.
add
If
liquidity.
there's a surge, if there's a surge in trading and
Mm.
there are less in circulation, that would make it even rarer that it
Yes.
already is, and again driving the price up.
Yeah, there's no supply left. It's
Yeah.
testing 42.2 right now, but below
Oh yeah.
42, there wasn't any more supply.
There's still quite a large amount of liquidation to be taken in by the exchanges from leverage trading back down to 39. So it might do a retrace to something below 40, in my opinion, as it normally does, because once you get so much liquidity accumulated, normally exchanges make it happen to go down to the price where they start taking large profits. Like the was it yesterday, Sunday slash Monday's pump to 42K. It did. It basically liquidated or over $200 million worth of short positions.
Was this yesterday?
It was, yeah, yesterday early when it did
Oh.
go over 42 for the first time.
Mm.
It was exactly, yeah, yesterday evening, the 4th, yeah.
Interesting. So the reason why I ask is normally when we hit some sort of threshold like that, where uh, people get liquidated out of their positions on their leverage trades, it usually cleans the field for like smooth flow of price.
Yeah,
So if that was yesterday, then uh, we should be okay for the time being. I would say for at least for another week before we see a downward trend. I would say, but that's
yeah.
Danny talking, not Octo.
No, I'm saying that there is still everybody who tries to catch the wave on the way up. It caused a lot of liquidity to be created from long positions, so that becomes profitable to exchanges.
Hmm.
If it does a quick drop in price, the usual correction that normally happens after a good pump,
Right, right, right,
and
right.
so you get a few hundred millions going up and a few hundreds on a quick spike down, like it happened yesterday. It did not a very big spike down, but it had a large impact on all the other cryptocurrency. If you notice, after it broke 42, it went down to less than 41 and a half.
Hmm.
And but if you put, like I normally have, all the charts next to each other, you see that most of the top 10, top 20 altcoins, they had a much sharper drop in the matter of an hour. It was like there was a collective take profit from a lot of different traders.
They call them sometimes dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. You have the whales, and then you got the dolphins that
Yeah.
coordinate together. So
And I
Bitcoin,
call it the
okay, go ahead.
plankton. Yeah, a term that I use often
Yeah.
is the plankton, because all the whales, they love to eat the plankton, and to me that's the leverage position getting liquidated.
That's great. I love that. So yeah, so Bitcoin is the Mario. Let's talk about Luigi, which is Ethereum here. Let me bring the map in. Here we are. I have a headline here that says Ethereum breaks $2,200 as open interest surges above 8 billion, and Ethereum's market value has hit $2,250 for the first time in over 1.5 years, as reported by Sentiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything tends to follow Bitcoin, but here we are with Ethereum, you know, over 2,200. We're well into the beginnings of the bull market here. Um, and there's so many altcoins tied to Ethereum, so sure, there's going to be a lot of rhyming as far as the performances of ERC20s. But before we go into this, just something funny I'm looking at here, and I'm just going to point this out, and we can then continue on Ethereum. I see that on the market summary, the the number 2 gainer is wrapped Millix, and can you guys see what the gainer is right now?
Yeah, there's a little divergence there between Rat Millix and Millix.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
And I think I know
That-
why.
That's a
I'm
big
sure that I
difference.
know why.
Yeah, I'm sure you're sure.
The reason why is so Millix.com is primarily the place that people trade Millix, not Rat Millix, Millix. And it's not an exchange. It's not operating on an order book like normal exchanges do. It's just a market. And Millix.com is making the market. And one of the team members adjusted the order book so that it more closely matched the open market on P2B, and that's what caused the price to move like that. It could move up just as easily. It's just it was like a one-time shock from that market move on Millix.com.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I've noticed, and I'm sure all the Tangled.com users have noticed as well, because since one of the last updates, we can actually see the dollar price value of our collected Millix in there. And everybody woke up having 2/3 less than what it was yesterday.
It'd be interesting.
Always a theoretical price.
Right.
If we saw an arbitrage, so people buying Millix on Millix.com and then sending it as Rat Millix over to P2B, because right now P2B has a higher price than Millix.com does. So it'd be interesting if we got some arbitrage trades on there. It hasn't. I know that it hasn't been as easy of an arbitrage trade in reverse, but this setup is a lot easier to do.
True.
It is. It is.
Yeah, and a bit more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. Any insights that you guys want to add on Ethereum before we move on?
Well, I'd say that Ethereum has the same. So I don't know if Octo and I agree on the price action for the last 45 days, but I do think that it's potentially an authorized participant buying Bitcoin to secure the ETF. And keep in mind that has to happen as many times as there are ETFs. And I think that there are at least 6 Bitcoin ETFs that have been filed and are waiting for the next step. That same thing is going to potentially happen on Ethereum with maybe a 30-day delay to Bitcoin.
Yeah, probably less. I totally agree. I think 30 days, it's a long time. It's probably,
So I wouldn't be surprised. So I think Bitcoin's leading the way. I wouldn't be surprised if Ethereum and the rest of the altcoins are moving up with Bitcoin as correlation more than fundamentals. But as the Ethereum ETFs pick up steam, then Ethereum's price will start to have fundamental reasoning behind it.
Yeah. And purely looking at the charts as well, analyzing those, you can see that the correlation is there. The charts are almost identical, but Ethereum has a smaller percentage of gain compared to Bitcoin and some of the other alts. And if you think about it, it broke 2.2 again. It's done it a few times recently. And that's not even half the way to the ATH of the last bull run, when Bitcoin, it's over 50% of the price of the last bull run. So in percentage, Bitcoin, it's outperforming Ethereum. And I think one of the Ethereum big boosts that it had this year uh, after the upgrade is that a very large chunk of its value, it's been locked in the staking pools.
And there looks to be Vitalik is looking into overhauling the Ethereum staking model, or did that happen already?
I think some of it might be part of the next kind of upgrade they're talking about. I don't know if it completely happened
Right, because based on
yet.
that new proposal and with the ETF news, similar results may also happen with Ethereum. Clearly, that what we expect with Bitcoin.
Yeah, there's still a lot of accumulation of Ethereum in the news. But as far as ETFs or any other upgrade kind of
Mm-hmm.
news, it feels relatively quiet compared to Bitcoin or some of the other major alts.
Like it's not making as much of an impact as maybe it once was years back, as far
Yeah.
as reflective on the price. I'm dying to just read this headline here about Cardano. I'm not a
Oh
Cardano
yeah.
hater. I just want to read it because it's just fun. Max Kaiser tears into Cardano and calls it extremely dangerous and centralized garbage. Renowned Bitcoin maximalist and advisor of El Salvador President Nayib Bukele, Max Kaiser has lashed out at Cardano again, letting the crypto community abuzz with controversy.
Yeah.
Speak.
I think that I don't think it's the crypto community is a buzz with controversy. I think that the
It's
ever
true. Yeah.
shrinking number of followers that Max Kaiser has is
They got something to talk
confirmation
about.
bias almost. He's I mean, he's right a lot of the time, but his presentation is kind of that of a carnival barker, so it's entertaining. You read between the lines as much as you can, and I wouldn't trade based on that. I wouldn't trade based on Max Kaiser. He has been right a lot, but
Especially these
sometimes, or a lot of the times, he's right with a multi-year lag, like a fraction of a decade year lag.
That would make it wrong then.
I think he can replace Cardano with a lot of other coins there. So
oh sure, it's a template.
yeah, it's a template that he can easily replace Cardano. I don't know why he's just talking about Cardano.
Because
here,
every
but
other coin, it's in the news, and Cardano hasn't made the news for quite a while. So
maybe that's
any
it.
news, it's good news. So let's just make up something about Cardano and say that people are arguing about it. But as Price said, there hasn't been many ADA posts on social medias. So this discussion that it's referring to is not as big as he makes it look.
I will say Charles Hoskinson is pretty outspoken on social media, and he loves giving interviews, and there's always articles out about him, and he is the poster child for Cardano and the project. But I feel like he's been more quiet, but I feel like I know more about him than Cardano in itself, and I don't think that plays well for the project. It just seems like a lesser version of Ethereum or the other guys out there, whether it's technologically superior or not. It really hasn't produced the ecosystem that it has been, saying it's going to have for many years now.
Yeah.
Guys, Tantelli's in the chat, and he's proposing that the founder of Ethereum and the founder of wmlx have a cage fight. Guys, that is not a fair fight.
I don't think that's a fair fight for price. You know, Vitalik
Yeah.
is strong and limber,
Yeah,
and how about pickleball?
Vitalik is.
I think he might know Kaf Mada or something like
Oh.
I think, yeah, he might, but he's Vitalik is he's a special guy, and basically in his physical state, it's a brain attached to a brain transportation device. That's all it is.
Have you ever heard of Crane from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Price.
No.
He was the evil villain. He was a brain stored inside the belly of a robot. So that's kind of sort of what you just described. Very interesting.
I think I have a lot of respect for Vitalik Buterin. It's hard to watch him talk, but it's special to watch him talk because he's just one of a kind.
He is one of a kind.
I agree.
And he's got
Yeah.
great fashion sense too. It's funny. There's so many co-founders of Ethereum, including the founder of Polkadot was a co-founder. I guess Charles of Cardano was a co-founder. I mean, there's a ton, but like, it's funny that they're all co-founders when I feel like Vitalik really is, the face of Ethereum. He was the proponent to that whole project. Am I
think
wrong
he's
about
the
that?
brains. He's all the brain power behind it. I think that he's just you know how you've got an alpha male. He's a beta male, so he's just not going to step up and take the spotlight and say, "Here's what we're going to do, guys." I think that if there's a weakness in Ethereum, Vitalik is the strength and the weakness because he could probably make decisions based on popularity of the decision as opposed to the math. I mean, it's hard to accuse him of that. But
so psychologically, like their consensus model in Ethereum is based on his beta male personality.
I think it's just something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. It's not
Very
the perfect poster for Ethereum.
But he is intriguing. I mean, when I look at him,
Exactly.
I have more questions than answers. You know what I mean? And I think that might pose well for a person behind a project.
I think he's portraying perfectly this nerd image, which makes it interesting, and you kind of feel like he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about because he is like a sticker of a proper nerd, in a good way.
In a great way, sure.
Yeah.
He made a lot of people wealthy, that's for sure. Just for existing. So, all right, we are close, actually, believe it or not, to the end of our stream. Wow. But I'm in no rush to wrap this up. But we should go ahead and start grabbing the names for the wheel spin. I wonder if I could commission somebody in the chat to grab all the names for me. And if they do that, I will tip them 10 million Millix. Tantally, would you be interested in doing this? If so, great. If not, we'll just do it ourselves. So there is another topic here that I wanted to touch on just quickly. Coinbase announces Polygon and Bitcoin Cash perpetuals. What implication does that have for the everyday holder and trader? Is that even significant? What benefit does that really bring? Because I'm not familiar with perpetual contracts. Can you guys give us a quick dive on that?
Well, it's just basically in a very easy term, it's just more plankton for the whales. It's more leverage positions that not being spot trading, it does not involve the movement of large quantities of assets, but it will increase the trading volumes.
I see.
Therefore, having an effect on the price. It is already that's already leveraged. What was it you mentioned? Matic and
Bitcoin Cash.
Yes.
Which is an
they already
interesting
are
choice.
present in other of the top 10 exchanges,
Hmm.
So yeah, it's going to be, not a very large percentage of difference, but
Hmm.
some difference, especially since, yeah,
Right.
Coinbase, it is
So
the
next up
one.
here, Solana exceeds Ethereum's L2s by trading volume. Data says Solana high performance blockchain network finally surpasses Polygon and Optimism by transactional volume. Before we get into this, there was a lot of news, bad news, circulating uh, near the end of the last bull run, and during our recent crypto winter, that there were flaws in uh, the code for Solana. And was
Security.
that was that swept under the rug, so to speak? Was that ever addressed and corrected, improved, and updated, or are we just going based on like price action now, and people are just going back into Solana?
I think if you go and research for it, there are some of the answers. For what I remember were, there was a few moments where the chain was down. There had
Mm-hmm.
been a couple of fairly interesting hacks
Mm-hmm.
to bring the blockchain to a stop for
Mm-hmm.
a few days at points.
Right.
I remember talks about upgrades and fixes being done to it, but it's something that it doesn't really make the news. They had an uptime of quite a long stretch of time without any problems apparently. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that made people get a bit of extra confidence on it and forget about the past.
Right. Erickson, is it true, if memory serves me right again, Solana has its own code base? They created their own code base?
Yes, it's a new blockchain, so it has its own implementation. Uh, I, I I don't have much details about the implementation, but yeah, it runs its new uh, its own code base.
It didn't
Have
Regarding
start
the
out that way, did it?
um, I don't know. I don't really know how it started out.
We're gonna
The
find out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think, yeah, we
Yeah,
should
when
we
are
are
you guys
maybe
doing
surprised.
that video? Like, I'm actually eagerly awaiting
yeah,
the video between Price and Erickson to just go over the white paper of Solana and everything, because I have questions, and I'm too
Yeah,
lazy to look, so I rely on the smarter people, to do this.
the
we
You
will
know,
do
XRP
it.
rate, you need to do the same thing for Solana.
Yeah, because
I did hear once that by having your own original code base, that can make you more susceptible to not just hacks but vulnerabilities in general, because it hasn't been
yeah,
fully stress tested.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, that's
is that
true.
one of the reasons why you chose to work with was it Node.js for Abilix?
No, that's just the
No.
technology. The code base. Let's say you have something like Ethereum that build the the virtual machine for to run those transactions and the blockchain. So, but there are some projects that forked the Ethereum blockchain and added more features to what Ethereum already has.
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum is already validated for several years and has already fixed a lot of problems that happened in the past. While if you start and while if you fork Ethereum, you're getting all these fixes and the history, the experience that Ethereum has done all these years. While if you start a new project, you will face all these problems that Ethereum may face in the past. So you
Yeah,
may face hacks, you may face different problems,
yeah, yeah,
scalability, uh,
true.
denial of service, and you have to fix them as they appear. So that's the difference between creating your code base from scratch,
Mhm.
or starting from another project that is already validated.
I think
Yeah.
that so when you look at something that, in particular, something that has its own code base, like Millix does, I mean that took years. The amount of trust and the amount of value that that code base secures, I think, is well represented by the size of the liquid market cap, because the liquid market cap of any particular coin is the bounty for finding the vulnerability, and the higher it
Yeah.
is, the more pressure tested it becomes, and you can't beat
Yeah.
Bitcoin from that regard. And it's important. It's important to consider the liquid market cap, not just the stated market cap.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hack a coin without a market
Yeah.
cap because
Yeah.
there's nothing to gain.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yes.
that's
That's
true.
funny. Let's touch on one more topic before we go to the wheel spin. X-Tether CTO hints at transformative era for the company's expansion. Off camera, I spoke to Octo about this a little bit, and uh, they hinted on some diversification, and I wanted to get a better understanding of what he meant by that. And Octo, you had some feedback on that question I have for you.
Well, basically, it's a similar move that, like, I don't know, almost banks could do, which is instead of being Tether, instead of just being seen and being the supplier of USDT, they want to venture into some other type of investments, like uh, get into DeFi, get into Web3, was mentioned. So, diversify and widen their horizons.
Is
Instead
that
of
a
I
good thing
being
for a stable coin?
I
Like, just
I
It
know
depends
what
on where the money's
I
coming
know.
from.
I know what Price is thinking right now. So
Well, the very first thing that I thought was that the job of CTO for Tether is a lot easier than the job of CTO for Millix, which is Dr. Erickson over here. I don't know what the CTO of Tether has to do aside from make sure that the smart contract works.
yeah.
and make sure
So
that nobody dips into the the backing funds.
the I think as they start
That's not the CTO.
as
Sorry.
Tether starts inventing and playing with other kinds of financial instruments, and especially DeFi, things can get really bad. So we
yeah.
may see things that happen to FTX happening to Tether much faster.
Yeah,
So
Danny, let's pull up the map for USDT. Let's see what
Sure.
it's trading at.
Um,
I
When
think,
was
yeah,
that headline?
um, it was today, this morning.
yeah.
Also, USDT has contracts with smart contracts with the Tron network, with Ethereum, and one other one, right?
Sort of Polygon.
It's interesting. Wow, they're over $1 here.
Yeah, by some small fractions. It
yeah,
does fluctuate always
Oh,
a little bit.
always.
Uh, but I think back to the playing games with DeFi, it would become dangerous and problematic if they start venturing into lending,
yeah,
which means they would have to create
yeah.
some capital that isn't there and therefore adjust how much is going to be backed by what to make
Hmm.
sure it doesn't blow up. Although it's a cryptocurrency that does not fluctuate in price enough to, you know, to create losses in a way, but it will still be a stable coin, and therefore, to remain one, it needs to have its worth in some with some kind of backing that will
It-
remain stable.
If I was
Hopefully
the
they.
if I was the CEO of a stablecoin, the mission statement of the organization would be zero creativity. Do not be creative, because
Yeah.
the only reason that you would introduce creativity to something like Tether is to encourage speculation.
doesn't that
That's
cause
right.
Yeah, that's not
instability?
good for
And
tech.
Like,
that's not the aim of a stable coin. So
No,
you're right.
creativity is the opposite of a
Yeah.
stable coin.
Your job is to keep it stable.
yeah.
Everybody on the team, that's what they should focus at and become a good stable coin,
Yeah,
secure.
I would think the only reason why they want to do that is because their current model has a kind of like a cliff in the end, and they need to find a way to save themselves, just in a very general, broad thinking way.
yeah. But
Like,
then they have to be creative to create new solutions for new solutions for this problem that they may face in the future,
Yeah.
and
right.
they may start mixing stuff like mixing stable coin with with I don't know, ways to generate money from a stable coin,
Oh,
like
I do.
like like
Yeah.
uh, paying interest on loans, and how do they back those loans?
Yeah.
So
The
yeah,
thing is,
that's
if this makes the price change, that will destroy like the whole crypto market, because that's what most coins correlate to kind of describe their value is by comparing it to a stable coin. So if you get any kind of depegging from the $1 mark, it would create all kind of trouble in every single corner of the crypto industry. So you have a stable coin, keep it a stable coin, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Don't mess around.
And just be happy that you're getting 4% on what is it, $200 billion. Just be happy.
Yeah.
The meeting adjourned. We're
Right.
making $100 million a year in net income. Let's have lunch. That's the best agenda for every single meeting that they have.
Yeah. They want to venture into something else, invent a new coin and
Yeah, new
start.
code. Yeah.
Yeah, and keep it separate from Tether altogether. Do you know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
It's just very odd to me when I read that today.
Although the Web3 side of thing, it's
Sure.
interesting because it would just introduce it and connect it as a payment method for
Yes.
a lot of what's out there, which isn't necessarily bad.
That makes sense. That definitely
Yeah.
it's just basically it's providing more accessibility to
Exactly.
Tether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
PayPal is doing it. Loads of companies are, venturing into becoming more fluent as a payment method through Web3 applications. So
Look at
why not?
if
payment.
the move of Tether. That's not so. Tether shouldn't move at all. And 5
Not in
basis
price.
points on a stable coin. Look at that chart should be a lot more boring than it is. It's trending up.
Yeah.
yeah.
But in fact, there are several. In the past, it was even slightly more fluctuating up and down in percentages. So there are large. You can set up bots to do it, but there are still a trading being done on stablecoin, very small gains on very large amounts because of the slight fluctuation that you see. The specific bots that do stablecoin trading and arbitrage, because even those tiny 0.1%, if you throw a few millions at it,
Yeah.
it will make you a good day's profit.
It's true. I feel like Tether has more influence on the crypto market at large than even Bitcoin does. And I say that because, God forbid something happens. Imagine the crash, where how many people have, is it even possible for Tether to fail?
It is. I remember distinctively when it happened to USDC a few months ago, or was it last year or this year? But the moment it started depegging, it went to 99%. 1% change on a stable coin, it was already a catastrophe. And after that, it dropped down to like 60%. And immediately there were exchanges and institutions removing it as a collateral for loans. So everything to do with DeFi crumbled up, literally in hours. And it was a really crazy thing to see.
Sure. Circle is a Circle that's behind USDC.
USDC,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There was a lot
Yeah.
in the news cycle with Circle. Yeah, so that would really be unfortunate if something should ever happen negatively to Tether, the market,
I
which
would
is
I would count on it happening. I would count on it happening.
it's like the pole shifting on the Earth. I feel like it's going to be like a
Yeah.
cataclysmic event.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
crypto, yeah.
It would kill the market instantly.
At
Although
least
No pressure.
there might be a
for
little
the
room left for everybody to try and, if they can, swing into Bitcoin, and that will become
everybody
deadly.
would
The
sell
same.
USDC for Bitcoin, so Bitcoin price would spike. The
That is true.
volatility would spike a lot.
That's
So
true.
Well, when USDC happened, they started depegging, and it was soon after the whole Luna and Terra ecosystem blow up. The surge in USDC to USDT shifting and trading was incredible.
Yeah.
Everybody moved to the next best stablecoin.
That's
did it
all
move
I
the
would
market?
expect to happen. I think that it would crash the market, but I think it'd be a flash crash. And maybe the definition of a flash crash in that sense is 3 days, but it would just be a transition out of half of a trading pair. I don't think
That's right.
I mean, it's really bad news if you're levered up, but if you're not, it's not a big. I don't think it's a big deal, and I expect it to happen.
The point is that if it happened to the number 2 stablecoin, okay, you can still turn to the number 1. But at that time, there was a few stablecoins. There was USDT, Terra stablecoin that
BUSD.
depegged and died. USDC now, and then you get the number 2 biggest stablecoin starts depegging for a very large percentage of its value. If it happens to the number 1, who do you turn to? It starts to be a little more.
I would go to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I think it would be faster than send my money to the bank. Because I don't know if it will arrive in the bank if I try to send my USDT to the bank.
Oh, change it to fiat. Yeah, that would.
I mean, my bank doesn't accept USDT, so it's just
So-
as good as any other, Shiba Inu. Like,
Yeah, that's
You
what
know.
I mean. If
Yeah.
you try to convert the USDT to USD, I don't think you will get what you expect. So I would try to buy Bitcoin with my USDT if I had any.
if you could, because so would everybody else. Do you know what I mean?
If you can, yeah.
That's why Bitcoin would spike. And
Most
the
exchanges
volatility-
at the time, they stopped trading immediately of USDC, so you couldn't exchange it for anything.
I would
You
send
you
it
just
to,
have to keep
to a
watching it
wallet.
and try.
You send it to a wallet and exchange on DeFi.
Yeah, that's what people did with the Terra stablecoin. You send it to a wallet and watch it go down by 99%
I wouldn't
and cry.
stay watching. I would try to swap it to Bitcoin.
They changed it
In
from
DeFi.
crypto to crypto. Get it?
Yeah.
Guys, before we round out this live stream here, whoever's left in the chat here, if you guys could do us the biggest favor and just give us a thumbs up on the video, it would help us, and we'll continue doing this. And it's always a fun, robust conversation with you guys. I think we covered a lot today. I definitely learned something new, and I really appreciate you guys being on. Let's move on to the wheel spin here. I don't know if you guys remember, but the last video that we had here.
I loved it.
Yeah, no, it was great, but the wheel spin, everybody's getting paid out. We went through the Fibonacci sequence, so therefore the last people to get picked are the ones who get paid the most, and it was me and Octo, and it looked totally rigged, but I swear to you guys, it was total
It's not.
coincidence here. Yeah.
What do you mean?
But
looked totally rigged.
Well, who designed that
Yeah.
app?
Erickson.
Well, my name was not in that wheel.
I
All right.
don't.
Well,
I'm
I mean, I just think it was a coincidence, and unless Erickson put
Yeah.
some shady coding in there, which I doubt he did, because he's such a stand-up human being. Um, okay, so
I'm totally joking.
we
He
have
was hilarious, though.
Tantelli, we have Seattle John, we have SJHW, we have Erickson, we have Danny. Which I'm gonna go ahead and take myself out of here. Erickson, do you want some Illix, or you want me to take you out?
Did you spell his name right? First of all,
This is SJHW. I'm gonna keep everyone else. I'm just taking myself out. Okay. I'll
Why?
keep Price in there. I don't know, man. Like, all right, fine. I'll add myself back in. It might make for good conversation. Bor Ergel, Price, if I didn't mention. King
Bor
55.
Ergel's here.
He was here for a hot minute. I don't know if he still is. All right, so we have King 555, Amin Fahmawi. All right. And we don't have anybody else. We got everybody. All right, let's go ahead and add everyone in. Okay, that didn't work. Erickson,
Put some spaces in there.
so how do we remove this, Erickson?
Just
put
put
spaces.
spaces.
The refresh button? Well, I can't put spaces in this now because I press continue. All right, I'm going to have to
What?
refresh this. Well, guys, we
No,
just discovered a bug together, and that's...
No, just put some spaces there.
Yeah, I know, but
Between each name.
can you
What?
put something in the...
You added a single name.
Well, the act should be, a telltale sign that it's time to...
No, you cannot remove that because the button is not visible.
Guys,
Never say never.
I got a hot take for everybody watching this. While we watch Danny fumble around with the tangled wheel spin, my observation on this market is so we are hitting annual highs on things like Bitcoin, but the daily moves. So I got 10 years of experience watching this. They are nothing. These 2% days, that is nothing. We've got face ripping moves in our future. 10%, 15%, 20% moves in a day. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
what we are missing now.
That-
Because in the last bull run, we saw a lot of days like 10% up, 20% up, 20% down. So we have, I think that we will happen when we are in a position where there is no liquidity. So there is a
Right.
lot of buyers, but no
Sellers.
sellers.
I think we're on the
shorts.
doorstep of supply shock.
Well, have you been looking at the order books, Price?
I look at what I look at, Danny.
Wow.
I
The
think
Wizard
if you
of Oz
compare
over
it to
here.
the chart of the last bull run, we are right in that part of the chart where it just goes parabolic.
Yep.
So you could see, and 13% over the last 7 days for Bitcoin. It's not bad at all. We have a lot of assets in cryptocurrencies that have hit double digits gains over the last 7 days, and some ridiculous ones like
Pepe.
Luna Classic, over 130% over the last 7 days for a coin that was dead. It's something to be
It
noticed.
makes no sense.
Well, there has been, as we were talking on one of the previous live streams, some activity from the Terra Lab getting the coin back into action, and also I think 2 days ago, Binance burned a large chunk of it, and all of these things put together, I think, is giving a bit of confidence back into Luna and their new stable coin and the new Luna token, Luna 2. And all of them, they have been showing incredible gains and being top of the top gainers for days now. So
Maybe this new bull run is starting 1 or 2 months before what it was supposed to start.
before
Uh,
expected.
yeah, so because
I think
I think it will.
December is always a good month, apart from last year.
Yeah,
But the end of the year, usually, historically, it's always a good time for things to grow.
but the halving is not too close, so um, it means that there is room for a lot of
Correction.
correction, or maybe if it just keeps the momentum to grow a lot, and
Yeah.
maybe we reach that 500,000. That
Well,
market maybe that model will be correct this time.
if it does that, maybe even briefly, like a
Yeah.
flash, a so-called God's candle of
Mhm.
250 or 500,000,
Yeah.
it would create a lot of cash for someone. Because again, there is the, I think the highest percentage of what's being traded. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin, for example. You always have
What do you
a higher percentage in leverage positions than spot trading.
what do you think if we reach 100K before the halving? What would happen?
I think I can see
With
that as
let's say the ETF makes the move to
Yeah.
100K.
Yeah.
I think it's totally
What happened?
possible.
But then what happens? Will will it keep rising because of the halving?
I think if it reaches 100K within the next couple of months, uh, purely analytically looking at the charts, it would still maybe do a fairly large correction, but then it could keep going all the way to the halving to higher prices.
And Price, you mentioned that you think the halving is going to have less of an impact this time around than previous halvings. Do you still stand by
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. And I didn't recognize when I said that, but when I saw the stock to flow, it says the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, look
I
at
think the
you.
hype of it is making more of an impact than
Yeah.
the actual halving,
Yeah.
because
True.
we have seen it happen on other large assets, other cryptocurrencies, and it changed almost nothing. I mean, technically, it will not be such a big mathematical impact on the currency, but it's something that has been hyped since Bitcoin was back at $16,000 last year at this precise time. I mean, it's been pumped and talked about for years about the 2024 halving. That's when it's going to happen.
Where we'll go six figures? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Then there
I
have been
believe.
some outrageous claims to even higher volumes, but I think 100K it's fairly reasonable, seeing how the market goes.
Yeah.
And if most of the rest of the market keeps correlating as it normally does, it would make us break the previous 3.1 trillion total market cap of the crypto market.
Okay, I'm going to ask everyone a question, and I just want a yes or no. Okay, we're going to start with Octo, then Price, then Erickson. Will crypto end world hunger? Octo.
Unfortunately, no.
Price.
No.
Erickson.
No.
Well,
People-
Anyways.
world hunger is not a financial problem; it's a logistics problem.
And
It's
you
a
can handle
human
logistics with money.
Yeah, but you also need the people with the money to use it in the correct way.
But maybe we'll
And
use AI to do it because people can't do it.
true.
I'll
Maybe
tell you,
we'll.
crypto is going to
True.
end hunger in some houses.
But yeah,
That's a yes.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
like it has been.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
ended hunger in my house.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
technically, like, let's say if I'm like going on a hike and then I fall in between like two cliffs and I'm stuck there, crypto won't be able to help me to get food. So I guess it's impossible. All right. With that said, guys, I'm gonna spin the wheel. Here we go.
It has filled my fridge several times. So I'm
Oh, look
thankful
at
for
me,
that.
man. I'm happy I got first place because I like Millix. I want Millix, but I'd rather spread it around. Okay, so congratulations, Danny. Let me just do a little bit of this. Let's keep going.
Fraud.
Fraud.
maybe crypto will bring hunger for those that hold forever.
Congratulations.
For life.
Crypto could bring hunger for people that don't have crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it depends what you're holding.
True.
There's
That's
dozens
true.
of projects that die every day. So
Congratulations, Bora. Let's keep going.
I don't think crypto is going to save Vitalik against me in a cage match.
it's like that thing that was on the
Price.
on every social media. It was Elon
Congratulations,
Musk
Octo.
versus.
All right, now we're getting to the big money here.
What, did I just win something?
You won
Yeah.
3 million. Yeah.
Bora Ergel says that the bull market started precisely when he sold all of his remaining BTC.
I'm sorry.
I
And
know,
there's been hunger.
I know, man. I feel the same.
There's been hunger and
congratulations.
suffering since that day.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
It's not funny at all, Danny.
It's funny in a sad way, Like we cry and we laugh, but we laughed to help our tears. All right, SJHW, congratulations, 8 million. All right.
Oh yeah, of course. You see,
13 million goes to Tantelli. Congratulations.
I'm watching it on YouTube. It's like you can tell the future because there's
Yeah.
a good over 5 second delay. So
Yeah.
that's funny.
All right.
It
Eighth
price to win
prize
something.
for 21 million goes to Erickson because you need it. Erickson needs 21 million.
Yeah.
Millix, so he gets
I
it.
need. Thank you.
All right.
Tantelli got 13. It just showed up on the stream now. Good job.
Yeah.
Tantelli.
All right, so now we got Price and King 555 up for 34 million. Who will it be? I am not going to spin this until everybody sees that there's 2 left. Let me know when you guys see 2 people left on the wheel.
I
see 2 right now.
All right. And I'm not going to say who wins, okay? I want you guys
Okay.
to tell me who wins. 34 million Millix between King 555 and Price. Who is more deserving of this?
Oh, King 555 for sure.
King. Yeah. King should win.
You guys tell me who wins.
Hopefully, King 555. There's
Wow.
gonna
This is a scandal. You take a look at it.
It's not spinning yet.
It's spinning.
You guys tell me. You guys tell me.
I have a bad feeling.
I want to zoom in. I want to zoom in on this.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. What, that was
No, Price.
Oh, Danny.
Somebody, no, not Danny, Erickson. That arrow is pointed on King 555 side, but Price won.
It's not.
Okay.
I'm going to take a screenshot of this, and I'm going to zoom in on Photoshop.
It was right in the middle. Yeah.
Bora Ergel is demanding
It
that the
really was.
Wheelspin code base be open source.
It should be open source.
It should.
This is inaccurate. And you can blame me too because I provided you with the graphics, but the arrow, I would hate to end the stream on a controversy like this, but congratulations, Price.
Was
For,
Amin Famawi added to the wheel?
He was, and he did win. I think he won like 5 million or 3 million. Yes.
That was just a scam.
Oh
I
no!
don't know.
Do you know what the problem is? Do you know what the problem is? And this happened to him last time.
What?
SJHW didn't give his handle for Tangled because that's not his handle on Tangled. So what I will do is I will tip you after the stream what you were supposed to win. You have my word on that. I'll have to see what it will. I'll just give you 5 million. It was 3 or 5, but I'll give you 5 million. And with that and all this controversy, I will leave you all with second guessing the wheel here.
Source.
Well,
We have to open source.
No, there's no controversy because as we speak, I am on king555.tangled.com.
Price is fixing this.
I am fixing this problem. 34 million
Redirected.
sent to the king 555.
Yes.
But that's not a problem in the code because the angle is not 0. It's minus 0.0001. So degrees. So
To be honest, I've seen this
still pointing
before,
to price.
where you can't really tell, but if you get into
I
the
can
pixels,
tell.
you can.
I can tell. I can tell that arrow is on King 555 side. But listen, I
glasses.
I hate that we're doing this on a live stream and I'm calling you out like that, Erickson. But listen, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. I know I'm not. I think you guys are amazing. I will see you all Friday. Shall we do this again on Friday and announce the fantasy day trader winners?
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys again for joining us, and we'll catch you all next time. See you all later.
See you